NIMBY. 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 Say it. Roll it around in your mouth. Roll it around like a dog. But what is NIMBY?
People don't want it near them. We got something in this country, you've heard of it, it's called NIMBY. N-I-M-B-Y. Not in my backyard. People don't want anything, any kind of social help located anywhere near them. You try to open up a halfway house. Try to open up a drug rehab or an alcohol rehab center. Try to do a homeless shelter somewhere. Try to open up a little home for some retarded people who want to work their way into the community. People say, not in my backyard. People don't want anything near them, especially if it might help somebody else.
NIMBY, as established by Mr. George Carlin, started out in the 80s and 90s. Back in the 80s and 90s, we were busy making things we needed. Things like power plants, prisons, schools, low-income housing, though that was really a 70s thing. The real question, though, was where to put all of these things. We had established city centers, big cities where these things could go already, but there was one problem. The people living there didn't want their quality of life affected in any way, and property values tend to drop when a prison is erected. So what did they do? They cried NIMBY, not in my backyard. It was characterized by the left, who sought to build all of these things, except maybe prisons, as the only reason they opposed these projects. But words have a way of getting away from people, and ideas have a way of being twisted to represent something totally opposite their initial use. It's now 2012, and MGM Resorts in Cadillac Fairview are looking for a place to, in collaboration with the OLG, place a gigantic casino resort in downtown Toronto. Preferably, they say, on the waterfront. This will bring tourist dollars to Toronto, they say. It will bring fame and fortune. And, most importantly in this economy, it will bring jobs. Now, back in the 80s, the main issue was property value. This kind of NIMBY debate has trickled down through the years to become fights over power plants. We see opposition to wind power built around the unsightly structures themselves, as opposed to built around how sustainable energy is communist. But now, NIMBY isn't just being used by the people complaining about the developments themselves. It's become an ad hominem slur used by the developers. In the specific case of the Toronto casino, the developers have said that any opposition to their plan is plain old NIMBYism and nothing more. After all, what harm could a casino bring? Let's just ask the people in Atlantic City how a waterfront casino really boosted their economy. Or Reno, or anywhere a casino has been placed in the last century that isn't Vegas. This is, of course, what the problem is. NIMBY is no longer the cry of those who feel they're oppressed. It's the battle cry of the oppressors themselves, come to plant a parasite onto the economic ecosystem of your town. So that is that. NIMBY in a nutshell. The resistance of the citizen when faced with an unwanted development. Whether that resistance is righteous depends on the decade. Krieger out.